Girish. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you can just begin with starting to introduce yourself and SocialBytes, the organization that you're representing right now.
Sure, thanks, Deepak. So, I'm myself, Girish, one of the co-founder of SocialBytes Technologies. Um, we have been into the social sector, and from the experience point of view, this is like 5 years old an organization. However, in terms of in larger context, where we have a good like 23 to 25 years of experience. We have another organization called Mahiti. So they are also been into social sector, and this is our second initiative.
Okay.
Where primarily we are focusing on like as creating and co-creating any solutions, the problem statements of in the social sector, where they are working for the social sector, like and towards the like larger like SDG goals, and then and like contributing to the social sector in that context.
Great. And like you talked about creating an ecosystem is what you're looking to build. And that's where even I think right now you're considering to have Dalgo instances customized for you.
Yes.
And if you can talk about that a little.
Yeah. In terms of the Dalgo, why when like in last 1 year or 1.5 years ago, I think in one of the my director mentioned like there's a Tech4Dev, and they also been into the social sector, and they're having a set of products like that. Where we also checking how we can. There are like two dimensions where why we want to be part of Dalgo in this ecosystem. One from the kind of the effort where we are putting into the to our like customers and those, and the knowledge base, and then reducing the time and energy of
Yeah.
whatever the manual operations is happening to streamline more and better in terms of tech point of view. And then in terms of from the for the customers where they want a more like streamlined and either in a more in a reduced cost point of view.
Process.
However, they want more a better decision making kind of a storyboard where like, they're showcasing an interest in the trend what we saw in last 1 2 years and all. So they're trying with different like enthusiasts are there in house where they don't have that much of a clarity or capability to everything can be done through Excel. They can do up to a first dimension like kind of a data in Excel like that, and post that. Still for that, aligning, putting, cleaning, pressing is it's a lot of tasks. So these are the two this distinguishing scenarios where we thought okay Dalgo suits best, and also the primary more primary is about they are into social sector.
Yeah.
So where like we are not like working like, in a corporate where and then they are doing the business. So we are into a social sector. They are also in that layer.
Yeah.
So
Great.
in that
And
vision meets.
exactly. And if the mission meets, the minds meet, and then we can kind of create scale, change at scale. And right now, when you talk about the sector that you're working in, the social sector, you said that is very different from corporate. So can you also share a little bit of problems and challenges that you have identified or NGOs have come to you, since you're also an IT organization, related to data? So what are these broader challenges that you've faced?
Uh, See, the broader challenges means the first thing like even understanding what exactly is required in terms of like requirements point of view is more like it's like either from the they have a very tight deadlines which is not structurally planned in terms of as where there is a project oriented they have programs and then with that it is there. So on that time bringing on and bringing the requirements in that, and also sit back and then work within an IT organization to streamline the how the data, even the entry level data collection has to go. So that's where the challenge is. The thing is, okay, we have any customer or we have any tight deadlines. So this is the first set of a requirement go in that one. After 3 months down the line or a good 6 months down the line, when the pilot begins or when the actual data comes, an initial review, a couple of reviews will happen. Then what donor expected and then what has been came as outcome. Majority times it is either in other direction. So and then the thing is understanding the project management in social sector and understanding working as a with an IT organization in terms of requirements, where means understanding and then aligning in terms of giving the exact needs and then understanding what dependencies are there and then um, more in means it's like uh, little bit taking as a granted and where that's where means when the contract says it's like 3 months or 6 months or 9 months is there and the initial 1 or 2 weeks maximum Josh will be there and later
Yeah.
it will be there or what will happen if the program team changes or in above the SPOC level changes either them sometimes my SPOC may directly depends on organization to organization where they're discussing with they're reporting the management team means that's a different story. Sometimes they have different hierarchy level. It could be like 5 to 6 levels of hierarchy is there means on that time changes means then again one start with one.
Yeah.
So that's where the majority of the conflicts will happen or the unhappiness will be well raised where the IT vendor is not up to the mark what we expected like this. So like these are the two like broader challenges like that. And third, where we see when they want to do the pilot and that the structure of pilot, what they're going to do, where the training of trainers, where the, again it's in connected with the problem statement one because you are not aligned with the problem statements of the grassroots level team who is going to use the application and then all of a sudden the you will train them or there's a feedback is there so realigning everything and bringing and that and then need to understand okay so if there is any deviation is there in terms of a scope or in terms of they should also understand what are the limitations are there even in IT vendor or even for us also we should also to understand okay what are the limitations are there in terms of a scope like signing that and there that's where majority of the things will fail. A lot of effort will go for good 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months, and then pilot will happen, and then either it will be pushed from the ITT or even from the social organization, and NGO they will also push. After data comes, then it is like no use. So in the so this is like these are three where it's like more better consulting is required in the initial part, a more structured way. Even though it varies, at least which is workable. Because no, we you can't force with like someone doesn't know agile fit into agile. And so which works better, and then and they should also know okay, what has been signed and what was the cost has been given, what timelines is there. So if the work is happened is not intended to be in that direction means it's not only the mistake from the IT organization. It's a mutual. It's there means what can be negotiable and based on that one. So they need to consider and then they need to align in terms of budgets and then the cost like that. Otherwise, that's where the more majority conflict will happen. Moment you do the pilot, so budget has been frozen, everything has been done. Then like majority scope is they will come within a different set of like, you have to do. You can't let go of the customer. Then you have any budgeting issues or resource level issues you need to get done. So you will do what you have done, nobody will recognize that. Like initially, what has been went, because of that, where all the blame game goes and
Great. And talking about blame game, so that is where, like you mentioned, that a lot of NGOs are stuck between the 0 to 1 level. If something starts, the person changes. Something starts, the brief changes.
yeah.
They start with something that this is what they wanted to do, but then the requirement changes. And in that regard, a lot of organizations, specifically IT service organizations, they come in as consultants with an agenda to just sell their product and get out of it, even if the product is not a direct fitment, like you said, that they just would want to plug in a new technology that the NGO might also be excited about, and then get out of it. So seeing all of this and then coming to these sort of events that you're right now attending. So how do you see these offline meetups with NGOs and that whole collaboration conversation helping out to take that whole product selling out of it and get more human-centric, solution-driven approach, get into the whole
Yeah,
metrics?
see this kind of workshops or align bringing the ecosystem into one common place and setting a tone. I mean, that will like high speaker kind of an activity initially. So that solves most of the problem. The thing is, like if IT organization having a product and then we will do pushing the product, so it will work in terms of like initially as a like as from the market and sales activity point of view. At longer run, if you see, the lot of attrition rates will be there, or
Exactly.
as a genuine feedback, they will tell, okay, so either organization is not up to ready because product is too advanced to them, or sometimes what they want, it's a very minor. Like if you go in more in detail, if you check, they most of the organization, they just need a good a better dashboarding with the website. More process oriented organization like that is there. So they should gel in this kind of a workshops to understand and then see that more a solution oriented, like what how the integrations will work, and then how with products or with the process oriented kind of like solutions where the frameworks we have made better. Like we have framework, and we are now, and now we also want to align with the Dalgo, because that makes sense in terms of a broader level to align. The thing is how you are going to realign with a customer and then with us like that. So in that way, workshops I'm bringing, and yeah, this is also like a great initiative from Tech4Dev to aligning and bringing on quarterly sprints, and
Yeah.
means it takes time people to understand why they are doing and then what is the outcome will be there. Eventually, at ecosystem level, it is a good one.
Great. And whether we talk about people, product, or say these platforms, data takes a lot of shapes and issues that kind of come up with the number of data and the number of, you know, insights that you're trying to draw from data. So, what would be the last parting thought from your side on data and social sector? Uh, any thoughts on that?
Uh, See, data and the social sector, again, it varies to organization to organization. They need to reconsider themselves on uh, like most of the organizations are collecting large amount of data.
Hmm.
And if they go back and see how much it has been really used, and then what decisions have been taken, if they ask like a good, like what we just now we completed in like five whys kind of questions, and then think back in that layer, and what actually we want to as a purpose has been initiated to use it in that layer in terms of to collecting a data and through this sector, and that matter, and then so nearly to what really required rather than to go everything we want like that. So that's where and people also think align what are the current affairs is happening in terms of data matters,
Hmm.
and to do all the processing and those and all. However, how it's going to be used, who is going to use,
Hmm.
and what security measures will be considered, and then what kind of security acts are there. They should have more better. understanding about that, and then they should know where the data has been available, and then how it has been used, and then means more than everyone. Most of the time they will, okay, they should aware of what not to do, and then and based on that one they should make use of better improvement, or in better, more sustainable and scalable in terms of to the services sector.
Perfect. And with that, I think we'll close the conversation. Thank you so much, Girish.
Thank you,
It's been a
thank you,
pleasure.
Deepak.